Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Card Karma. Today, I am celebrating the release of Ancient Origins by doing a set review. And yeah, we've all seen the cards. They had the translations were out, the Japanese scans were out, but now we finally get a chance to see them, with these nice high def scans and the foil effects and all that on Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. So I figured it'd be a lot more pleasant of an experience than reading translations and looking at bad scans. So, yeah, I'm not going to cover everything in the set necessarily, but I am going to point out what I think is interesting about Ancient Origins, and just discuss how they might be used in the upcoming formats. And keep in mind that I am both standard and expanded player, so some of the cards I might talk about how I could see them being used and expanded too. So you always got to look at all the cards and see their utility in any way. Like, you never know when a card might shine. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, and just like, grass is really broken in Ancient Origins with the what is it called, Forest of Giant Plants, aka broken vine space. It allows you to get turn 1 Vileplume so easy. Turn 1 like Shiftery, we've already seen that in expanded, just destroying stuff. Yeah, it really is a broken vine space. That's what they should have called it, because it's definitely broken. And so pretty much any grass type from here on is going to benefit a lot from that stadium card. So yeah, so the first card we're going to look at is going to be Vileplume. It's got the ability Irritating Pollen. Each player can't play any item cards from his or her hand. And notice it says each player, so that means you and your opponent are locked out of items. But Pokemon players, and they love to not have fun. They love to, if they can stop you from playing something, they're going to. Seismitoad, what is it? Stoutland, any form of just item lock, control over your hand, over the cards you can play, is going to be a strong effect. So I definitely think Vileplume is going to be heavily played, perhaps with Giratina from the same set. And expanded grass is just going to be broken because we have like Excelgor, you have so much stuff. So yeah, Vileplume is definitely going to see some play. This Ariados is probably one of my favorite cards from this set. Has the ability Poisonous Nest. Once during your turn, before you attack, you may use this ability. Both active Pokemon except for grass are now poisoned. So yeah, I mean, obviously you can use grass and just prevent the poison, or you can have Pokemon that benefit from poison or out in front. First thing that comes to mind when I see this card is Machamp EX from this set. But it could also be used with Virizion. Even though Virizion will get rotated and expanded, that's still a viable option. You could just put a grass energy on whatever and prevent the poison effect on yourself and put it on them. Some other applications, I mean, this might be a gimmick, but like Doublade's False Swipe, and then you just have guaranteed poison. You don't have to rely on lasers or anything like that. You just have consistent, 1 damage. Even if you don't have Urbank, you can just do that 10 damage and kill something. So yeah, I think Ariados is going to be pretty good. So let's look at the first EX of the set, and that's Sceptile EX. For 1 energy, which is already cool to me, I think, having attack for 1 energy, even though it only does 10 damage, Sleep Poison, 10 damage, flip a coin, if heads, your opponent's active is now asleep and poison. So I mean, double status for 1 energy, and it does damage, it's not just a flip. So that means, like, if you start adding stuff in, say Muscle Band, I know you probably won't Muscle Band a Sceptile because you want to Mega Evolve, but Muscle Band making that 30, hit a Toad for 60, sleep and poison him. If you have Urbank, that's 90, for 1 energy, so pretty solid. And his other attack, Unseen Claw for a grass and a colorless, 60 plus. If your opponent's active is affected by a condition, it does 70 more. So it kind of goes in conjunction with the first ability, or the first attack. And yeah, 130 damage after you've already done some, plus poison. Pretty decent attack and pretty decent Pokemon, I would say. And of course, you also have the Mega for 2 energy Jagged Saber. So that's good that you also, once regular Sceptile set up, this one is 2. And 2 energy is not hard to get. I mean, that's just an awesome low power attack, kind of like Manectric EX. or Mega Manetric EX rather. But yeah, Jagged Saber, 100 damage, which is solid for 2. That's pretty good. And then the attack says you may attach up to 2 grass energies from your hand to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. If you attach energy to a Pokemon this way, heal all damage from that Pokemon. So, I mean, you could just have something out and let it tank, and then use this ability, throw it down in grass, and just heal all the damage off of them. So, 220 HP, definitely solid. This card is really good, and like I said, grass is already really good, so I see this card being used a decent amount. I'm definitely excited to play it, so we'll see. Oh, yeah, and I didn't even mention the fact that it has Theta Stop, prevent all effects of your opponent's abilities done to this Pokemon. So, yeah, this is definitely a solid card. Okay, another really good card, not this Combi, but this Vespiquen right here. It's kind of, I'm sure a lot of you are going to think this right away, but it's like the resurgence of Flareon, except now it just demolishes Toad instead of losing to Toad. So, yeah, and again, with this one energy attack, I'm really liking that. It says, Intelligence Gathering, 10 damage, you may draw a card until you have 6 in your hand. So it's like Tropius Return or whatever, like Leaf Draw, whatever. It's like it draws you cards and it does damage, so it's not useless at any point. So I just love that. And to say you can't hit a DCE, you can still attack, you can still do something. I really like that about this card. And then on top of that, this is the real sweet card, or the sweet attack, and that's Be Revenge. For 2 energy, colorless, so it could be a double to colorless, 2 grass, whatever. 20 damage plus, and this attack does 10 more damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile. So we already know the power of Flareon. This is really no different. It benefits from Unknown from this set and all the same tricks that that Flareon used to have. So yeah, I mean, Flareon players are going to be excited. They get to keep playing this style of deck, and that's awesome. I really like this card, and I can't wait to play it. So what's this? Theta Double, 2 cards attached. I wish they switched the attacks. I wish this one got the half art effect, because that would just be awesome. That art is really cool, but the card is not. Here's another card that's really interesting about the set, and that's the Evolutions. But this one is Flareon. It has the ability Flare effect. Each of your stage 1 in play is now a fire type in addition to its other types. So, like, say you partner that with Vespiquen, now you're hitting both grass and fire super effective, and that's pretty awesome. Because, I mean, especially hitting with fire, because metal is pretty prominent. So, yeah, I mean, just being able to hit metal for super effective, hitting water for super effective, and that's just with Flareon. There's also the Jolteon and Vaporeon. So, yeah, these cards are pretty awesome, I think. And they're definitely going to see some play, if you ask me. This Entei right here is kind of interesting. Theta Double. You can have two tool cards attached. I've actually seen a stalling Entei deck where it had like Eviolite and Hard Charm attached, and then you have Flame Screen where you prevent another 30. So you're preventing 70 damage every turn. I don't think this card is going to see a lot of play, but it's interesting. Let me see. This card's okay, but nothing too thrilling. This Gyarados is really kind of interesting. Again, Theta Double, can have two tool cards attached. His first attack is really what we're looking at here. For 2 energy, double colorless, or just 2 waters, whatever. Full Realitation does 30 plus. It does 30 more damage for each damage counter on each of your benched Magikarp. And then actually, I think it pairs with this Gyarados. Yeah. Berserker Splash. This attack does 10 damage to each benched Pokemon, so that includes your own. So you could have Magikarps on your bench, hit them with you hit a Berserker Splash a couple times and get some energy or some damage on them, and then just while out with Full Retaliation. It's gonna be mostly a fun deck, a gimmicky kind of deck, I think, but could see some play, just in fun decks. So here's the Vaporeon I was talking about earlier. It has the Aqua effect, pretty much the same as Flareon, but it gives your Pokemon water typing for stage 1s, of course. Solid card. I really like the art on this one too. You see the little Mantine in the back. It's really nice. Yeah, there's that. The Regis are kind of cool. They all have an effect or an attack like this. Resistance Blizzard. Kind of similar to Hippowdon. But yeah, during your next turn, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon by EX. So yeah, I mean, they all have like an EX attack that stops them or does something that affects EXs basically. So that's kind of cool, and they could see some play, I think, just because EXs are always going to be prominent now. Kyurem is pretty much the only really bad EX in this set, I think. Nothing really thrilling here. 2 waters in his first attack, so you can't even use a DCE. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not good, I don't think. Yeah, here goes that Jolteon I was talking about. Electric effect, same thing as Flareon and Vaporeon. Stage 1s get the electric typing. So, pretty sweet. All the evolutions I predict are going to see some play, so I'll definitely be playing them anyway, so there's that. Ampharos EX, this is another good EX from the set, I think. This art is a bit wonky. It's like a giant head and a little tiny body, but we're not going to get into that. The full art looks a lot better anyway. Yeah, so let's see. Thunder Rod for 1 energy. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck and attach as many electric as you find to this Pokemon. So that's cool. He can kind of ramp himself up. And then for 4 energy or 2 electric and a double colorless, 100 damage, Sparkling Tail. This attack isn't affected by weakness or resistance or any other effects on your opponent's active. So that's another good way to get through, troublesome effects. 100 damage for 4 is not the best, but it's not the worst. But yeah, so there's that. It's decent. And then you get Mega Ampharos, which is pretty good as well. 220 HP, solid. Same energy cost. Exavolt is 120 plus. You may do 50 more damage and leave your opponent's active paralyzed. If you do, it does 30 to itself. So I mean, 30 to yourself to do 50 more and paralyze is probably definitely worth it. That's 170 damage and paralyzed, so they're not even going to be able to retaliate. That's a pretty powerful effect if you ask me. So Ampharos could definitely see some play. I don't know what you would maybe pair it with something to ramp it up faster, but I mean 4 energy is a lot, but that's a pretty strong effect if you ask me. Oops. Let's see, Unknown. This is going to be a huge card coming up because Farewell Letter. This is a really good ability. Once during your turn before you attack, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may discard it and all cards attached to it. If you do, draw a card. So really it's just simple, like put it on your bench, discard it, draw a card. Simple as that. Works really well with Vespiquen, obviously. It just gets free Pokemon into your discard pile, draws you cards, so you can be putting more of them into your discard pile. Yeah, Unknown is going to go in a lot of decks. It's not a really big commitment. I mean, opening with it is going to be bad, but it's not the worst. Yeah, it's just a solid effect, really. So definitely look forward to using Unknown. This Baltoy is kind of cool. It has Status Stop, prevent all effects of your opponent's abilities. And then his attack, Future Spin for 1 Psychic. Look at the top 3 cards of either player's deck and put them back on top in any order. And it's kind of funny, but he looks like a top. He's a spinning top, and it really reminds me of Divining Top from Magic the Gathering, where you get to look at the top cards of your deck. So yeah, this is a kind of neat little utility Pokemon. I don't know if it'll see some play, but I think it's a really neat card. So I look forward to seeing what it might be able to do. This Golurk I'm really interested in right here. Theta Stop, prevent all effects of abilities, which is cool. Ability, he has an ability called Double Type. As long as this Pokemon is in play, it is both Psychic and Fighting type. So that's really, really cool. That already gives you 2 types that you can hit for weakness. And then combine that with like Flareon and Jolteon, and now you're a Psychic, Fire, Electric, Fighting type. On top of that, Double Type being a Psychic and a Fighting type, now he can actually hold strong energies. So that's cool. And technically, you could hold Mystery Energy, so you could actually be one of the only Pokemon that could have 2 special types of energies on him. Amplifies damage and give him free retreat, because full retreat is pretty bad. But yeah, I think this is just cool because of the double typing and stuff like that. 4 energies for his attack, 80. You can have it do 40 more, and if you do, it does 20 to itself. So this ability is not, or attack is not the strongest, but I think just being able to hit for a lot of weaknesses is going to be where he shines, if he shines at all, that is. Not really sure, but it'll be determined. I think it's just a really interesting ability. And all the double typing stuff, the Flareons and all that, it's just cool what they're doing with that. So yeah, I like that. It's like a Hoopa EX. The artwork is pretty sweet. However, I'm not that thrilled about the card itself. It has the ability Scoundrel Ring, which is weird that they didn't call it Bandit Ring like the Japanese version, but whatever. Scoundrel Ring. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may search for up to 3 Pokemon EX and put them into your hand. So yeah, it just accelerates your deck and can draw you, shamans or whatever your strategy is revolving around. So my first thought is to use it with Lugia, because you can pull out your Deoxys, your Lugia, your Thundurus, whatever, you can get everything. But truthfully, I'm not that excited about this card. His attack takes 3 colored energies, like that's just bad, and then you have to discard 2 of them to even use it. Like it works with, say, like Raikou, who has the same type of ability, discard all the energies attached and snipe damage. But you have Eels to get that back. With Hoopa, you don't have any way to really regain psychic energy, so this is just not that powerful. So like I said, I'm not that thrilled about this card. Machamp. Now this is a card I am kind of thrilled with. Not thrilled. I don't think this is going to be top tier or anything like that. But it is a really neat card, and I'm glad that it gives us another fighting attacker, given that we're going to lose Landorus. I don't think he's as good as Lucario, but I think he's solid and interesting. So let's look at him. He has Steaming Mad for a fighting and a colorless 20 times. His attack does 20 times the number of damage counters on this Pokemon. This Pokemon is now confused. And that right there could already be pretty powerful. I mean, if you'd had a couple damage counters on him, 20 times that. So, I mean, it's not something what do you need? You need 90 damage on you to knock something out that's 180 HP. But that's still only half of your health. So, I mean, it's really not that unfeasible, and for 2 damage or 2 energy, that's pretty solid. 180 damage, that's pretty sick. And then his other attack, though, for 2 fighting and a colorless, Crazy Hammer for 80 plus. If he's affected by a condition, this attack does 80 more damage, and then remove all conditions. So I mean, he could confuse himself, and if you get lucky with the flip, knock something, or it is 160. And if you had say you had strong energies or bands, obviously that can get stronger and stronger. But if you don't want to use this first attack and get confused, you can just use Ariados and poison yourself. So, yeah, I think that's going to be pretty awesome. I'm really interested. This is probably going to be one of the first decks I build when I get a hold of this card. So, yeah, Machamp EX, pretty cool, if you ask me. Here's that Regirock. Also, let's see, if your opponent's active as a Pokemon EX, it does 60 more damage, so kind of like a Buffalont. Like Gold Breaker or whatever. 120 damage to EXs for 3. Pretty solid. Let's see. Let's look at Tyranitar EX. Another one of the EXs from this set. It's cool that he's a Dark type. We have some good Dark type attackers. Obviously, we got like Malamar and Yveltal, but now we just have another option. I don't think Tyranitar is that great, but I think he will have some use, and he might, there might be some hidden strategies with him that people haven't found yet, or even use him and expanded with like Dark Patch, whatever, we'll see. But yeah, for 3 energy, 1 dark and 2 colorless, Hammer in for 60. 3 for 60 is not that powerful, but it's not too weak either. It's something you could do if you don't have another energy. His other attack, 2 dark, 2 colorless, break ground, 130. It does 10 damage to each of your benched Pokemon. So you could have a strategy that revolves around putting damage on yourself, but overall that's not that great. I mean, 130 for 4, it's decent, does a good damage. Combined to say you already did the first attack, you're probably going to kill something, but not that powerful of a card on its own. And then you get the Mega, though, 240 HP, so that's pretty high, just under what a Wailord has. So yeah, State of Double, can have 2 tool cards, so that could be cool. Destroyer King, 2 dark, 2 colorless, 110 base. This attack does 60 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active. 60 more for each damage. So if you just had 1 damage on their active, that's 170. If you had 2, yeah, you see where I'm going. That's insanely powerful. That's like super sick powerful. You take, like, say, bats. All you gotta do is put a Golbat. That's 120 damage. Crobat, 180. That's insane. So this is a very powerful card. Whether it sees play is to be determined, I guess, because it does take a lot of commitment to it to get it out and get it going. But this is sick, powerful, strong, crazy. I don't know if I can add any more adjectives there, but yeah, Mega Tyranitar is very interesting to say the least. We got a new Metagross in the set. 150 HP is pretty solid. Magnetic Warp ability. Once during your turn, you may switch your active with one of your benched. If you do, they switch theirs as well. So, free little escape rope thing. I don't think that's going to be that strong, but who knows. It's interesting. Utility card. We also get a half art variant. I just think it's cool because Metagross hasn't seen that much love in the past. There hasn't been any super good Metagrosses really in recent times. Theta Double has 2 tool cards. Machine Gun Stomp for 2. It does 10 more damage for each card in your hand. That could be good. Probably not that good. Even if you had a hand of 10, that's like, I don't know, a hand of 10, that's pretty powerful. So who knows. Guard Press for 80 for 4. That's pretty, eh. Yeah, that's a meh card to say the least. This Gardevoir actually I thought was pretty sweet. Bright Heal. Once during your turn, you may heal 20 from each of your Pokemon. Like, I don't know, that's kind of cool. And then Telekinesis for 3. I don't know, it's not that powerful, but I don't know, it's interesting. I think it's not that good, but it's interesting. It's the only way I can put it. Giratina. Now this card I feel like is like in a really mixed, awkward spot, but I think has potential to be very, very good. He has the ability Renegade Pulse, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Mega Evolution Pokemon. I mean, Megas are not everywhere, but they're pretty common, so that ability could come into play pretty frequently. And then his attack for 4, a Grass, a Psychic, and 2 colorless. Chaos Wheel for 100. Your opponent can't play any Pokemon Tool, Special Energy, or Stadium cards from his or her hand during their next turn. So, yeah, no tools, no special energies, and no stadiums. It's another way to lock your opponent down. And I mean, so say you've got, Vileplume, Giratina, then they can't play items, so this card could be very good. It could be powered up by 2 double dragons, or a double dragon and a double colorless, so he's not even that hard to power up. So we'll see what Giratina proves to do, but I think he could be very, very good. Let's see. I think there was a cool Porygon. Yeah, Cybercrush discard all special energies is kind of cool, but for a stage 2, that's not really that worth it. What about this one? This one is the one I thought was kind of cool. Theta Stop, prevent all effects of abilities, and then Digital Reboot. Devolve as many of your bench Pokemon as many times as you like. Put each evolution card removed this way into your hand. So if you had a lot of things like say bats or just whatever based on evolving and replaying cards, like that could be pretty sweet. Dazzle Blast 2 for 50. Pokemon's Confused. That's not good, not terrible. I don't know. Yeah, and okay, Lugia. I think that's the last one that really needs to be talked about that hasn't been. And yeah, it's a kind of like a Mewtwo reprint. 170 HP, double colorless, same attack, Arrow Ball, same as X Ball pretty much. Attack does 20 times the number of energy attached to both actives. His other attack for 4, colorless, Deep Hurricane, 80 damage. If there's any stadium card in play, it does 70 more and discard the stadium. So that's pretty cool. 150 for 4, discard a stadium. Pretty cool. Pretty solid. He is weak to electric, so that could be a boon for him. But he resists fighting, which is solid. I think Lugia will definitely see play as like a one-off in some decks, just because a DCE attacker that can do stuff like that is just always going to be good. So yeah, that's pretty much the Pokemon from the set. Let's go ahead and look at the full arts, because the art in the set is pretty nice. Yeah, Sceptile for Mega Sceptile, pretty solid. I like the colors on this, like the pink. Yeah, this looks cool. Too bad he's borderline unplayable. The full art Ampharos looks much better than the regular Ampharos. I no question. I love this background. This one looks really, really cool. The blue and pink. I love the full art Ampharos line. Full art Hoopa looks really, really cool. Too bad he's not that good. Full art Machamp, I'm really digging the bright orange background. He really pops. He looks really vibrant and yeah, solid. I like the Tyranitar EX full art a lot. He looks real like insidious or something, brooding maybe. the dark red and black background. The full art looks cool as well. The art Giratina looks really cool. I like this background that they're doing. It reminds me of the what's it called, Hydreigon EX as well. Full art Lugia looks really nice. Now these guys, these secret rares, the reprints of the primals, not so thrilled on these at all. Art is cool, but the effect, losing their original effects is just not worth it in my opinion. Like Primal Gruden without his barrier or whatever, just not nearly as powerful. Same thing with the Rayquaza. All of them, honestly. Like the only one I think could be maybe played is like this one. It's like a one-off, and I still don't think it should be. Yeah, so that's the Pokemon from the set. Let's go ahead and look at the trainers. We got Ace Trainer. It's a supporter card. You can play this card only if you have more prize cards left than your opponent. So you kind of have to be playing from behind to use the card. But that's not that hard to meet that condition. And it says each player shuffles his or her hand and then draws 3 cards. Or you draw 3 cards. Your opponent draws 3. You draw 6. Your opponent draws 3. Sorry. So yeah, it's like it's similar to an N. How it disrupts your opponent's hand and then it draws you cards. The cool thing is no matter what the prize differential is, you're always drawing 6 and they're always drawing 3. So you're definitely giving yourself the advantage by playing this card, despite playing from behind, because obviously your opponent is taking more prizes. So yeah, this card could definitely see some play. I don't think it's a replacement for N. I don't think it's the next top supporter or anything like that, but it's viable for sure. We get the Ampharos Spirit Link. It looks really cool. I love the art on it, and yeah, you need your links. Simple. I'm glad that they're giving links to everything now. Got Eco Arm. I like how it has the Hard Charm art in there. Shuffle 3 tool cards from your discard into your deck. That's really awesome. Honestly, we had no real safe way to get back tools before, so now you can get back your floats, your Hard Charms, your life dues, your whatever, your links. If you get your links knocked off, whatever, you can get back all your tools now. So this is cool. This card is pretty sweet. Energy Recycler. I'm really interested to find a way to like really abuse this. But yeah, shuffle 5 basic energies from your discard back into your deck. If at base value, that's like a stall preventer. You can just prevent yourself from getting decked out by shuffling your energies back in over and over. But I think there could be other ways to use it. I'm just not sure what they are yet. But very interesting card to say the least. Secret Rare Energy Retrieval is pretty nice. Energy Retrieval on its own is a decent card. It's not heavily played, but it's not played either. Goes well in some decks like Deluge or something like that. Faded Town. At any time between turns, put 2 damage counters on each Mega Evolution Pokemon. It's like an anti-Mega Stadium. I'm not sure if it would be that useful. Megas are common, but not that common, and you're not gonna have that many Megas out anyway. So you're only doing 2 damage. Like, I don't know if it's really worth it for this to be your stadium. Now this, I already talked about this at the beginning of the video, but Forest of Giant Plants. This card is broken. Each player's grass Pokemon can evolve during his or her first turn, or the first turn she plays those Pokemon. He or she plays this Pokemon. So, yeah, you can go straight Gloom, Vileplume turn 1. You can go Nuzleaf, Shiftry turn 1. You can do so much brokenness with this card. Like I said, an expanded is going to be even more broken. This card is ridiculous, in my opinion. I could be overhyping it, I could be whatever, but I think this is going to be this could even get banned, honestly. Like, I don't know. This card is very powerful. I'm just going to leave it at that. So yeah, expect to see it, I think. Yeah, Hex Maniac. This card's really cool. Supporter card, unfortunately, but until the end of your opponent's next turn, each Pokemon in play in each player's hand, each player's discard has no abilities. So yeah, I mean, if you're under a lock, if you're under whatever, if your opponent's using some fairy, move energy abilities, executes in the discard pile, whatever it may be, shuts off abilities for a full turn. Pretty solid. For a supporter, that sucks because it obviously means you're not using like a draw supporter or something, but if that one turn that you can go under abilities works and gets you the win, this card is going to be your best friend, obviously. So Hex Maniac is pretty sweet. Level Ball, this is obviously a reprint, I'm sure many of you know, but I'm really glad to see that this is back. This is back in standard, and you get some new art to use for expanded. I already, I was already using level balls in a lot of my expanded decks. I already know how powerful this card is, so it's definitely going to be a powerful card, especially considering, like, with, say, combine this with the grass stadium, then you can get all your middle lines easily, fully evolve up, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, level ball is super strong. For those who don't know, it says search your deck for Pokemon with 90 HP or less, reveal it, and put it in your hand. So it's really good at getting either like basics out or middle line evolutions out, or it can even level ball for Jirachi. Like, it's a really good card. Lucky Helmet, similar to Rocky Helmet, but this one's Lucky. It's a tool card you can attach to your Pokemon. When it is attached and it's damaged by an opponent, you draw 2 cards. So that's actually kind of cool. It could be weird. I mean, it could be bad. You don't always want to be drawing cards, so I don't know, but it's an interesting card. I could see it getting some play for sure, especially with the Theta Double, where you can have 2 tools attached. You could have Lucky Helmet and another, item on. So we'll see what happens with that. Lysander reprint. This kind of threw me for a loop at first when I opened it. I guess it wasn't in the Japanese set. I don't know what to say about it other than Lysander wins games, so whatever. I guess it's going to be around longer. I don't know. It doesn't really change the game because Lysander wasn't rotating to begin with. So yeah, whatever. Lysander. Paint Roller, an item card. Discard any stadium card in play and draw a card. So this could be pretty useful. You draw a card off of it, so no matter what, you're getting an effect, even if the stadium didn't matter that much. So, like, you can draw a card off of it. Anti-stadium, so that's cool. I don't know what else to say about it. It's decent. Sceptile Spirit Link. Obviously you want your links. Full Art Steven. Now, this was a promo in Japan for a while before we actually got it, and I don't think this is in their set because they got it as a promo. But yeah, I like the art on it. The art is super nice, but the card is not very good. So yeah, collector's card. Secret Trainer's Mail. This is a nice card. Trainer's Mail was a 4-of in a lot of decks, and it's still used in 2 and 3s in a lot of other decks. It's a powerful card. So it's cool. You can bling it out if you really like it. Tyranitar Spirit Link. We need our links, and yeah, that wraps up the trainers for this set. Forest of Giant Plants is probably the best one. Level Ball Reprint is a solid card as well. Eco Arm could be very powerful. Yeah. Overall, Ancient Origins is a pretty interesting set. I'm not disappointed. I'm definitely interested to get a hold of these cards. I know they're brand new, so I haven't got a hold of a lot of them yet. But when I do, I'll be posting videos with new Ancient Origins decks. And yeah, the last 2 cards of the set is the special energies that come out. And this means that we basically have special energies for not all of the types, but almost all of them. We have Mystery Energy, Herbal Energy, Strong Energy, what else? Fairy, the Wonder Energy, the Steel one, whatever that one's called. And now we have a Flash Energy for electric types. The Pokemon card that this is attached to has no weakness, so no more of the days of Manectric getting smashed out by Donphans or Landos or whatever fighting type. So that's really cool. Pretty much any electric type losing their fighting weakness is pretty awesome, and it's not too much of a commitment to run this. I mean, yeah, you can get it enhanced, hammered off, but it's a pretty solid card. Yeah, so I'm excited about that one. And you have Dangerous Energy, the special Dark Energy. Whenever the Dark Pokemon this card is attached to is your active and it becomes damaged, you put 2 damage on the opponent your opponent's Pokemon that hit you. But it only hits EXs, so you have to be hit by an EX, and it only does 20. So this one is not nearly as exciting as the electric one. And I don't expect it to see too much play. Maybe a niche like 1 or 2 off in a deck, but I don't think so. We'll see though. I could be totally wrong. And yeah, guys, that's the set. So yeah, I hope you like this review. Perhaps leave in the comments what types of decks you think I should build showcasing these cards. There's obviously a lot of cool stuff, and it adds a lot of versatility to the game. So definitely excited to start playing with these cards. And yeah, go ahead, leave a comment. Go ahead and follow, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. If you want to catch me live, follow me on Twitch. I'm trying to stream more often, so yeah, I stream Pokemon Trading Card Game, play lots of cool zany decks. I do viewer battles, all that stuff, giveaways, everything. So yeah, until next time, this is Card Karma signing out.